And welcome back to the weekly edition of our NASCAR DFS preview. I'm the Sports Chief. I'm your host, AustYn. Coming at you, gosh, I don't even know. This is week 7 or 8, something like that. But we're trying to get them pumped out every week here. So last week we actually came away victorious. So that was pretty cool. But here at Texas, it's a little different track than Martinsville. So you got a mile and a half again. Texas, their banking used to be like 24 or so. I believe they lowered it to 20 to make it, the racing a little different. So we'll see how that goes and everything. But I've got a little different strategy here. So I'm going to go really heavy on some stars, try to get some value towards the back end. And we'll see how it goes. This is more of a track that fits my style. I mean, short tracks are very good for me typically. And I did come away with a victory in GPPs yesterday, or last week. So let's just check out the roster and we'll go through what we're going to do here. So Texas, O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 last day of March, and let's check it out here. So looking at our salaries here, you got Kyle Busch starting at 16th at $12,200. Kyle won the Xfinity race yesterday. Brad Keselowski, who's been on a tear. He won at Martinsville last week. He's starting in 12th. Both of those places are very attractive starting spots, by the way. 8th, Joey Logano, which is not bad either. Martin Truex in 20th. Kevin Harvick in 23rd. And then rounding out the 10K guys is Ryan Blaney, who's just been tearing it up as well the last 3 weeks. It's pretty insane seeing these guys starting in such high positions. That's because a lot of guys like Bubba Wallace and people lower down qualified really well this week. My strategy to this one is I'm looking through here, and I see a guy who, Kurt Busch, has been killing it this year. Kurt Busch, he got 12th last week at Martinsville. He got 25th at Daytona, but other than that, he's been top 5, top 10 every week, and he's got a bad, fast car. So I feel very confident about picking him. So I'm going to go with Kurt Busch here. He's won at Texas before. He's just... The mile-and-a-half program at Chip Ganassi in itself is great, and that's why I'm going to pair him with his teammate Kyle Larson at 9,200. Kyle Larson has been kind of struggling, a little bit this year to get past the hump. He's still finishing pretty good, honestly. He's just not getting where he needs to be. And I can see him coming away with a victory here at the mile-and-a-half track at Texas. He's really good at the mile-and-a-half and up tracks. So that's where I'm going to go with that one, and as you can tell, I've got $7,800 to spend. Now, what I'm going to do here is look towards the bottom. The bottom here, you got Smithley, Timmy Hill, all these guys, no. Bubba Wallace, again, I told you, is starting in 10th. Ty Dillon in 9th. It's pretty insane. So I've got some guys right in here. This is my bread and butter spot. It's typically guys I'm going after every week, it seems like, on DraftKings, around the 6,000 range. William Byron used to be down there, but he's gone up a little bit. But he's starting second, so I probably won't go that route. Alex Bowman could be a pick, and I think he's going to be chalky. And as you can tell, he scraped the wall in qualifying. That's why he's in 24th. But his Hendrick counterparts, Jimmy Johnson, is on the pole. It's going to be interesting to see. Hendrick's been pretty fast this week, so it's going to be interesting to see how they perform today. What I look for right here, and it's going to be tough to pick between these three, is what I'm going to go with. Chris Buescher is starting in 19th, and I think Chris Buescher will get like a top 15 finish, probably. But I'm not 100% sure, and his speed has not been quite what I like it to be as far as his lap averages and things. He's still pretty fast. But what I'm going to go with here, actually, is Matt DiBenedetto at 26 starting spot. DiBenedetto's not been historically great at Texas. I did look at Levine Family Racing and how they did with Casey Kane last year, and I think he started somewhere in 20th, finished in the teens. That's what I'd like to see out of DiBenedetto. I mean, I've already got Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson, who I'm hoping will contend for the victory. DiBenedetto, all he's got to do is get me spots. He's just got to pass some guys, and I think that's pretty safe to say that he will. Chris Buescher, the reason why I don't like that is, man, he could finish 20th. He could finish 19th. He wouldn't get any additional points added on to that. At least with DiBenedetto, I can get some additional points. And as I can see, I'm at $8,300. And there is another guy who I'm going to like, the way I'm doing my strategy here, who's probably going to finish better than he starts. And David Reagan is that guy. He's starting in 28th. I could see David Reagan getting 20th. And if David Reagan gets 20th, that would be a blessing in disguise. That would be amazing to see David Reagan get 28th. That would definitely benefit this roster. If DiBenedetto and Reagan can kind of hang around the teens there, I expect there to be some wrecks actually in this race. Typically, this race last year, I believe there was quite a few wrecks. I believe like Jimmy and Larson and a bunch of other guys were wrecked pretty early. There were some weird finishes, but I expect that to happen because this is more of a racy track now, and with the new aero package, I think they're going to be bunched up a little more. So we're going to see hopefully some wrecks. Hopefully we pick the guys that don't get in them, and I fully expect a lot of those guys starting up top, they're going to fall back. Michael McDowell's not going to finish better than 15th, probably. Bubba Wallace, if he gets a top 10, it shocked me, and Ty Dillon. Daniel Hemrick starting 7th. Man, I like Daniel Hemrick. They just don't have the race trim down yet. So now I've got $9,500 with 2 drivers, and that's pretty amazing, especially with this salary. So I fully expect Clint Boyer to be kind of chalky. I fully expect these guys to be chalky, but one guy that I just cannot go without picking is Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick is a mile-and-a-half beast. He's a great driver on mile-and-a-halves, and I'm going to go that route at $10,700. He's going to be my anchor. It's pretty crazy that I've got Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson in with Kevin Harvick right now. He's got he doesn't have the best average finish. Jimmy Johnson holds that, but he's up there. He's in the low teens. And now I've got $8,300. Jimmy Johnson has been bad fast here. He's starting on the pole though. If he was starting like 11th, like Eric Jones, I would go that route. But I'm still iffy on it. I got to see some results from Jimmy for me to trust him. Stenhouse, going into this week, I was thinking I was going to pick Stenhouse no matter what. He seems like a guy that runs pretty well at Texas. I believe in the Xfinity Series he was pretty good there. Track's changed a little bit. Stenhouse is pretty good on this aero package. But I got to go with Eric Jones. Eric Jones, even though, here's my logic to it. The man cannot finish in the top 10. He has only finished there once or twice. Once was at Atlanta. This track is the most similar to Atlanta out of any track that we've ran. His average finish at Texas is like 10th. He's a young guy who, you know what, he's gonna come around, and I fully expect that to happen this week. And he's starting 11th. Hey, get me a top 10. It's gonna be some great points there. All right, so let's clean it up here. I've got Kevin Harvick. If you're looking at his odds, look for him to win. He's been in a slump. Go with him. Kurt Busch is starting in 30th. I fully expect him to get at least a top 15. Then you got Kyle Larson in 22nd. Same thing there, top 10 expected. Eric Jones, great solid pick there at 11th. I don't think he'll be heavily picked. Average finish at 10th. Great driver at Texas. Go for our bargain picks here. I really wanted to pick Ryan Preece, but I went with DiBenedetto, just with the Joe Gibbs engines. And I think DiBenedetto he's got the experience edge. And then David Reagan rounds out. So that's back-to-back weeks. We've gone with David Reagan. So that's it, guys. That's it for our Sports Chief preview here. Good luck to everybody. Hopefully this helped you out a little bit if you're kind of making your tournament lineups. Kind of look who I'm saying, because I feel very good for this week. Those low end guys, they're gonna finish well, and stay away from those chalky guys. Try to go out there and try to get some value. And I'm hoping Kevin Harvick is not going to be chalky today, although he probably will be. But Kyle Busch starting in 16th, I think it's going to be more spread out this week, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. So hope y'all have a fun race day and tune in at 3 o'clock on Fox. Check out the O'Reilly Auto Parts 300. Thanks, and have a good Sunday.